Hello and welcome to next section of our video. So here I'll tell you about Android Oreo, that is Android O, which is the final release in August 2017 by Google. So we'll see how what is Android Oreo, what are the new features we are going to get for Android Oreo, and how we can build an app for Android O phones. So before proceeding with the app development and discussing about the features, I'd like to tell you something about Android O. That is, this Android O, between Android Nougat and Android Oreo, there are no major visual changes, as we have already seen Android Nougat in our previous section of videos. So you are already aware of the features which are available for Android Nougat and what are changes you need to make as a developer for building an app for Android Nougat phones. So talking about the visual changes, there exist no as per visual changes, but primarily there has been made an effort to improve the usability. It's increased the consistency and add a layer of future proofing to everybody's favorite mobile OS. So some new features has been evolved with this new release. So Android O, we can say, finally brings an iOS matching level of polish. So we can compare this with the iOS level. It has more initiative and improves the battery life. Again, Google has done some improvement with the battery life. So Android's greatest strength over iOS is its superlative notification system. So with the Android Oreo as well, the notification system has been enhanced more than the Nougat phones. So Android O supports a new Java language API as well. So this is very important from a developer perspective, because you need to use a new Java Time API introduced with the latest version of Java 8. So this is done for the Android O phones. And Android O also introduces a variety of new features and capabilities for users and developers. So here I will tell you like what's new for developers are, because we are more focused on seeing the things which a developer needs to do rather than from the user's feasibility. In Android O, Google have redesigned notifications to provide an easier and more consistent way to manage the notification behavior and settings. So we'll be anyways discussing about this notifications in our coming slide. So discussing about what all topics I'm going to cover for Android O series. So these are the topics which you'll see for the Android O series. Introduction to Android O, which I have already given. What is a Android Go? So you must be surprised that what is Android Go. So Android Go is nothing but it's a lightweight version of the Android O. So I'll be telling you a brief about it so that you understand why Android Go has been launched by Google, and Android O highlights and the final release. So I'll be basically discussing only about all those major highlights which has been released by Google in the August 2017. So it will be latest in the market and you should be aware of that as a developer, and get then how you can get Android 8.0 SDK for app development. So I'll tell you how to download, install Android 8.0 SDK for Android app development, how you can migrate existing apps to Android O. So it is very important if your apps are running in Android 6 version, that is Marshmallow, or Nougat versions, that is Android 7, or how you can migrate those for Android O phones. How you can execute app in Android O platform. So we'll be executing our existing check permission app for Android in Android O platforms. Will execute code samples for Android O. So I'll be showing you how you can execute. There are some code samples which are provided by Google, how you can get the access of those and how you can implement those things in your code. So I'll be discussing about those things. How you can implement notifications for Android O, since I am told you that a notification was a major change which has been done for the Android O phone. So how you can implement those things for Android O phones, we'll be discussing about that. Then we can discuss we'll discuss about design picture in picture mode. What is this design picture in picture mode? I'll discussing about this. And last but not the least, we'll be discussing about the permissions in Android O. So what new permission has been introduced for Android O phones, so we'll be discussing about that. So thank you, and let's see you in the next sections where I'll be discussing about the features of Android O which has been launched in its final release.